Hello and welcome back to the course. In today's topic, we are going to look at the function average if and average ifs. Although average if and average ifs works just like some if and some ifs. So if you have a good understanding of some if and some ifs, then average if and average ifs is not going to be a problem. So let's get started right away. This is our data set. We want to look at the average sales amount when our state is Ibadan. Another time, we are going to look at what is our average sales when our profit is less than 5. So let's get started. We are going to start with our equal sign, remember? Equals average, AVE, average. Then we are looking at average if. So I'm going to pick these. The first data we need to input is the range. It is telling us that what is the range in which, or the particular list of data or array of data where we are going to see that criteria we are looking for. We are looking for Ibadan, don't forget. So we are going to find that array of data here. We are going to pick all that. That is the range, comma. What is our criteria? Our criteria is Ibadan here. I can type it in, or I can just pick that cell, comma. Then it's saying that what is our average range? Where is that column in which we want to perform the average? We are going to pick the sales. Good. Then press enter or you close the bracket. You can see this is giving us $354. So that is telling us that the average sales that we are making from the state Ibadan is $354. So let us confirm that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look at this filter. Then I'm going to pick only Ibadan and we'll see our average sales. So pick all these and let's see the average is 354. You can see that is very, very correct. Good. So now the next criteria we want to look at now is we want to look at if our profit is less than 5. So we are going to start with equal signs, obviously. Then we'll type average, average if. Average if is saying that what is our range, that particular column where we are going to see our criteria is here, comma. The criteria we are looking for is less than 5. I can pick that and I can type it in as well. Then the average range, which particular column do we want to perform the average on? It is the sales column. Then I can close the bracket, enter. You can see this is fine. So this is telling us that our profit that is less than 5, we are making an average sales of $205. Let us confirm that. So our filter is on. So click on this. Then we come to number filter. We want to look at the one that is less than 5. Less than 5, correct? So just type 5 here. Okay, good. So these are the sales that are less than 5. The average is 206. This is approximated. You can see 205.516. That is also approximated, and that is correct. Good. Now the next one we are going to look at is if our profit is not 5. So that means that it can be greater than 5 or less than 5, but 5 should not be included. Again, we start with our equal sign, average if. You pick that with your tab. The range is profit, obviously, comma. Then the criteria is not equals to 5. Remember, not equals to 5 is greater than and less than together. Then you have your number, comma. Then the average range, this is the sales. Good. Press your enter. You can see this is telling us 318 are not equals to 5. Then the next one is we want to look at the average sales for each of our customer whose name starts with letter C. Remember in Excel, letter C, the asterisk means that anything can come after C, but it must start with letter C. So let us try that out. Equal sign, average if. It's talking about the range. Where are we going to see this C asterisk? We are looking at this particular column, comma. The criteria is C asterisk. It means it can start with C, but we don't bother about any other alphabet or any other thing that comes after C. Correct. We put our comma, and the average range is our sales. Good. Then press enter. It is telling us that any of our customer whose name start with C, the average sales we are making from them is just $111. Let us confirm that, please. So we start from here. Then we can pick text filter. Then we can also say that begin with letter C. So that means that any of our filter that begin with letter C, you can see we only have two names, Chizoba Ngozi here. So if we pick the two, what is the average? 111, and that is very, very correct. Good. So that is how to do that. That's the essence of C asterisk. Now, asterisk A, as we know, it means that anything can come, but it must end with A. So any of our customer whose name end with A, what is the average sales we are making from them? Start with equal sign, average. Again, average if. Good. Where is the range? It is the name of our customers, comma. The criteria is this. I can type it in as well, comma. Average range is sales. Just pick all that. And you're good to go. You can see this is telling us that all the names that end with A, the average sale is 513. Let's confirm that. So we come to text filter that ends with A. Good. Let's see that. Okay, so let us look at the average sale that we are making from all these. 514. Good. So 514, $514. You can see that is what we're having here approximately. Good. Now the last one is saying that, okay, we want to look at what is the average sales we are making from a particular state that whose name ends with letter N, and it only has 6 alphabets. Look at the question mark here is talking about the number of alphabet that must be in that criteria. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 question mark, and we are having a letter N at the end. So irrespective of what is in the letter, but it must has 5 letters and it must end with N. Good. So that is with respect to our state. So we start with equals average if. Good. We pick that. The range is the state. Yes, comma. The criteria is this. Then, comma. The average range is our sales. Correct. Enter. This is telling us this is the average. So you can actually come here. Text field is saying that that ends with N. This is showing us that it ends with N. So these are the states that end with letter N, and obviously all of them, they have just 6 characters. So if you pick all these, you see the average is 302, sorry, $302. So if I click on this clear filter, you can see we are having just 302. Good. So that is how to do average if. Now, if you want to do average ifs, it means that we are looking at more than one criteria. So it means we want to look at the average of sales that we are making from this customer, and the category of item is furniture. Okay, so we are going to start with that, equals average. Now we are going to pick average ifs, the one that has S, average ifs. The first thing that we need to pick here is the average range. What particular column do you want to get the range of the average? You see that this is a bit different from average if, where we are going to pick the range first. But here is telling us the particular column in which we want to get the average. That is what we are going to pick first. So I'm going to select all these and add my comma. It's saying what is the criteria range? Where is the criteria we are looking for? That is our customer name. Good. Then I'm going to pick my comma again. Then what's the criteria? That's Umar Ismail. That's the criteria, the name of the customer. We pick another comma again. It's saying criteria range 2 because we have picked average ifs. So it's telling us that you can have criteria range 2, you can have range 3, range 4, like that. So criteria range 2 is talking about that particular column where we are going to have our criteria, and we're having the category column. Good, comma. What is the criteria is furniture. Cool. then press your enter. This is telling us we are having $888 from this customer when the customer is buying furniture. So the last criteria that we want to look at here, let us try it in another method. Firstly, I'm going to convert my data set to be a table. Remember how to do that. Control T and you are fine. Control T is saying that my table has headers. Yes, that's okay. Good. Then we want to give our table name. Let's just call it AVG. Correct. So that is the name of this particular table. So we want to look at the average of our sales if this customer Bruno Akman is buying from us and the state is coming from is Ebonyi. So we are going to start with equals. We type average ifs. Average ifs. We pick that. It's saying what is the average range? What is the average? So that means that we need to pick this particular column. But instead of coming here to pick, I can as well type the name of my table. Remember, the name of my table is AVG. You can see it's giving me that name. And you also observe that my from this left-hand side of my screen, it has selected all the data that are in my table. So instead of coming here to select all the time, you may not need to do that. Just type in the name of your table. It's going to pop out this. Press your tab to pick it. Then you also press the square bracket. The square bracket is going to give you all the list of all the columns that you have in that table. So I have customer name, state, category, sales, but my average range is the sales. So I'm going to go down average range to sales, then I press my tab, then I'm going to close that bracket with the square bracket. Remember, the square bracket is just behind the enter button. Good. Then after closing that, I'm going to press my comma. It's saying criteria range 1. So what is the criteria range 1 here? Is the names of the customer, that's customer name. So I'll type AVG again. Then I'm going to pick that. After picking it, I'm going to click my square bracket again. Customer name is there. I'll press tab to select it, close it. You can see it's giving me that it is in red and everything here is red. That is the data I'm selecting. I'm going to press my comma again. Where is the criteria? My criteria is here. So I can actually pick this directly. Then comma again, because I have 2 criteria. So I need to input the second criteria. So it's saying criteria range 2. Remember, I want to pick that from my table. My table is appearing. I'll press tab to pick it, then my square bracket. Okay, the second criteria is the state. So I'm going to scroll down to state. Good. Tab to pick it, close it, then comma. It's saying what is the criteria? I'm going to pick Ebonyi here, then press my enter. Good. You can see this is also giving me the same answer, but I don't need to be coming here all the time to be picking, because I've converted these to a table. Good. So let us confirm this. Bruno Akman from Ebonyi, the average sales is 163. So the name must be Bruno Akman first. Bruno Akman. Good. And the state must be from Ebonyi. Obviously, is from Ebonyi. Everything is from Ebonyi. So the average is $164. $164, you can see, and that is what we're having here approximately. Good. So this is how to do your average if and your average ifs. Please practice very well. I hope you like this lecture. I'm going to see you in the next lecture. Bye-bye.